UNCHOSEN. Interior, castle, dusk. A knight in shining golden armor rides upon a white steed. He crosses the drawbridge of a castle while the oracle speaks.
A darkness hath fallen across the land, brought upon by the scourge of the heartless wizard Malvir. Yet hope remains in the form of Sir Aurum, the chosen one, who charges fearlessly into battle.
Aurum crashes into Malvir's throne room. The two clash with sword and spellcraft.
The dark wizard was thought an insurmountable foe until the day of Aurum's birth, when his family were visited by an oracle. He alone was to vanquish Malvir and deliver the realm from subjugation. So saith the prophecy.
Aurum breaks Malvir's staff, cutting off the source of his power, and holds a sword to the dark wizard's throat.
Thou hath bested me, noble warrior. Yet thy talents waste away in the pursuit of justice. Rule aside me so that I might grant thy deepest desires.
Unswayed by attempts at bribery, the chosen one's sword struck true and fulfilled his destiny.
Thou wouldst grant me any desire?
This trial of character was of no consequence, for he would never abandon his solemn duty.
Yes. Wealth, power, women, the very world could be at thy fingertips as it is mine.
His incorruptible soul wavered not even for a moment.
Aurum sheaths his sword and offers a hand to help Malvir to his feet.
If that be the case, I had some thoughts on the decor.
Exterior, village, day. The town crier runs into the village square. Peasants gather around to hear what news he has brought. A farmhand remains out of focus in the background while moving bales of hay.
The chosen one has betrayed us. All hope is lost.
Panic breaks out amongst the crowd. A town guard drops his sword in dismay.
Truly, there is no one left to defend us.
The farmhand comes into focus upon hearing the commotion.
Welp, if he's not going to save the world, I suppose somebody has to.
Putting down the pitchfork, the farmhand picks up the guard's sword and ventures off out the village gates.
So I guess we're following this nameless farmhand now. It's days like these that make me want to get out of the business.
Interior, tavern, day. A mercenary, Ebrius, has cornered the bartender of the tavern and is shaking them down for gold.
Listen, bud. The sooner thou forkst over the coin, the sooner we both can get back to drinking our troubles away.
It's just like I says. We already done paid the damn tax this month.
His Highness raised the tax rate again. I don't like it either, but we both got jobs to do.
Ebrius flashes his sword to intimidate the bartender. The two glare at each other until the farmhand butts in, ruining the tension.
Hiya! Do you work for the Dark Wizard?
Unfortunately.
The farmhand draws a sword and points it at Ebrius while using a clumsy stance.
Then leave peacefully, or I'll be forced to stop you.
In the blink of an eye, Ebrius draws his blade and knocks away the farmhand's sword. The farmhand runs off, and Ebrius sits back down by the bartender.
Truly, I get it. The taxes come out of my cut, too. But we all know there's no killing the man with no heart. Prophecy and all that.
On guard!
The farmhand returns, having fetched the sword to oppose Ebrius.
Easy now, Ebrius. Don't go hurting the poor kid.
Well, I can't in good conscience kill someone in a stance like that. Thy legs should be further apart with knees slightly bent.
The farmhand mimics the stance of Ebrius. The two fight again until Ebrius disarms the farmhand with a cut on the arm.
Something to remember me by. Now give up before I really hurt you.
Sounds like you've already got given up covered.
Have it thy way, but at least try to parry this time. Block with the flat of the blade. Use that opportunity to control the direction of thy foe's weapon.
They duel once more. This time the farmhand manages to give Ebrius a cut on his arm, causing him to drop his sword.
Well, I'll be damned.
Was that a part of the prophecy too?
Ebrius picks up his sword and hesitates for a moment. He decides to sheath it and clutches his arm melodramatically.
Woe is me, for I hath been bested in combat. I must retreat now, lest I succumb to my wounds.
But I barely cut you.
Ebrius walks away, swiping a bottle of ale off the table on his way out the door. He tips his hat to the farmhand.
Thou hath a future, kid. Just maybe not a long one.
Exterior, montage. Months later, the farmhand is shown fighting through Malvir's men and helping out peasants as theme music plays. Each time the farmhand gets injured by an attack, that move gets incorporated into the farmhand's fighting style. With every fight, the farmhand's skills improve until the enemies can no longer keep up. Exterior, farm, morning. General Fortus, a giant, is standing over a frail old man. The man is on their knees, begging for mercy.
I see thou hast been holding out on us again. Pay what is owed, or ye shall be severely punished.
Prithee, I've already given all I can spare. We need these crops to survive the winter.
And we need food for the war effort. Us giants got quite the appetite.
Fortus raises his club to strike the old man, who cowers and covers his head. There is a clang of metal as a sword parries the strike. The old man opens his eyes to see what has spared him. Standing between the old man and Fortus is the farmhand, now looking older, more muscular, and adorned with battle scars.
Hiya. This guy isn't bothering you, is he?
Mind thine own business, peasant. Thou art interfering in the affairs of the Dark Wizard's top general.
Wow, congratulations on the promotion.
What promotion dost thou speak of?
Well, the last guy I fought said he was the Dark Wizard's top general, so that must mean you got promoted.
A nobody such as thou vanquished my predecessor? I'm in no mood for such jests. Stand aside or suffer.
Have it your way.
Fortus and the farmhand clash again. Fortus is easily outmaneuvered and gets back to the edge of a cliff without him noticing.
Quit stalling, puny whelp. None can take me head-on with my strength.
Maybe so, but your footwork is pretty lousy.
The farmhand sweeps Fortus's leg and sends him tumbling off the cliff.
Curse thee!
The farmhand moves to help the old man up.
I thank thee, traveller. Hadst thou not come along, I would have surely perished.
Don't mention it. I used to work the fields myself, so I know how tough it can get out here.
The old man fetches an object wrapped in cloth. He unwraps it to reveal a gleaming blade with a majestic presence.
Please, take my grandfather's sword. It has been in my family for 100 years, and is said to have the power to...
Oh, no thanks. I'm used to this one. So, does this road lead to the Dark Wizard's castle? I'm not so good with directions.
Surely thou wouldn't dream of challenging him. To do so would spell certain death.
Why do people keep saying that? Is it like a turn of phrase?
Nay, the chosen one alone can vanquish the Dark Wizard. So saith the prophecy.
Agree to disagree. So, is the castle this way, or should I head that way?
The old man winces as the farmhand steps toward the castle.
Nay, I beg thee, reconsider.
So this is the way. Take care now.
The farmhand waves goodbye and jogs down the path, while the old man dejectedly puts his head in his hands. Interior, throne room, midday. Aurum slouches on the throne, whilst a servant pours him wine. He takes a sip and looks down at the servant, disapprovingly.
This is the best wine in the kingdom, is it? Find me someone to blame, and then execute them.
Of course, Sir Aurum.
The servant scuttles away, but is smacked in the face from the door being blasted open. Malvir stomps in furiously.
Damn it all.
Relax, my friend. Drink, and tell me what vexes thee so.
General Fortus failed to report in. That makes 3 generals this month. There must be an army on its way.
So what if there is? The only man who can harm thee is sitting in this room. What difference is there if we spend the afternoon reminding our subjects of their place?
One cannot rule a kingdom of the dead.
And what of those skeletons guarding the castle?
Yes, very amusing. Yet we still need doctors, blacksmiths, and someone to ferment thy precious wine.
If it will put an end to thy eternal whining, then I shall snuff out this little rebellion for thee. However, it shall cost another barrel of gold.
I'd make it 2 gladly. Just take care of it.
Aurum blows dust off of his sword's sheath and grins. Exterior, castle gate, evening. The farmhand crosses the drawbridge from the opening scene and knocks on the door.
Hiya! Any dark wizards in there?
The door creaks open and Aurum steps out. He is now dressed for battle in his golden armor and leads a troop of skeleton soldiers. He pays no mind to the farmhand while walking by.
Fan out and search for signs of rebellion. I desire this matter dealt with in great haste.
Excuse me, Mr. Chosen One?
I don't do autographs.
Actually, I'm here to fight your boss.
Turning around in disbelief, Aurum looks at the farmhand for the first time. Seeing such a drab appearance, Aurum waves his hand dismissively.
Kill that one first, then meet me in town.
The skeleton soldiers surround the farmhand as Aurum walks away. After a brief scuffle in the background, the farmhand catches up and taps Aurum on the shoulder.
Actually, I was hoping to get directions from you, if you don't mind.
What the? Where did my soldiers go?
Oh, those? I took them apart. Skeletons look scary, but they're pretty easy to overpower since they have no muscle mass. I don't really know why you use them.
Because they don't talk back like some naive little shit.
Aurum unsheaths his sword and charges the farmhand. To his surprise, Aurum's strikes are easily parried, and he is even put on the defensive.
Not bad. You might even be as good as me someday if you practice enough.
Be silent, cur. I was born the greatest swordsman who ever lived.
Your technique is good, but you have a habit of telegraphing attacks. Try switching up your attack pattern to be less predictable.
Art thou truly giving me combat tips while I attempt to slay thee?
Was I not supposed to? Well, it's not like you don't need it.
Enough! I shall demonstrate why I am the chosen one and thou art a nameless peasant.
I do too have a name. It's...
Aurum leaps forth with a fancy sword maneuver.
Golden Arc, strike!
The farmhand leaps out of the way, but is grazed on the side by Aurum's slash.
Whew, that was some move! I'll have to try it out sometime.
As if a mere commoner could even...
Golden something or other.
The farmhand mimics Aurum's previous move. Aurum tries to leap out of the way, but gets struck in the torso. He drops his sword and sinks to his knees, clutching the wound.
Oh, thou didn't let me finish.
I thought that was part of the attack.
I've been felled by an idiot.
You know, gold makes for some pretty lousy armor. It's a soft metal, but super heavy.
It was meant to be a status symbol.
And how did that work out for you?
Dost thou ever shut a thump?
Aurum lies on his back, no longer having the strength to remain upright.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let's get you patched up.
The farmhand uses some strips of cloth to clean and dress Aurum's wounds.
Admittedly, we are a little off script here, but perhaps seeing the fighting spirit of those he was once sworn to protect has moved the Chosen One and driven him to once again pursue his destiny.
I'll slay thee for this.
Yeah, that's right. You'll get me next time, buddy.
Aurum finally passes out and snores peacefully.
No peas out cold. Why would anyone listen to an oracle anyway? We just know literally everything.
The farmhand finishes treating Aurum and faces the castle.
Well, one more to go.
Interior, throne room, dusk. Malvir sits atop the throne reading a spellbook until he hears crashing and clanging coming from the hall. When the noise dies down, the door creaks open and the farmhand steps in.
All right, I finally found the throne room.
Forsooth, and what do I owe this intrusion?
Stop being evil, or I have to kill you. Final warning.
Thou dareth to oppose the great and terrible Malvir?
Who's Malvir?
I really shouldn't be wasting my breath on the dead anyway.
Malvir lifts his staff, which begins to glow. Arrows made of light materialize around him. He throws these magical projectiles at the farmhand. The farmhand runs forward, ducking and twisting out of harm's way. After closing the distance, the farmhand thrusts a sword towards Malvir's head. The dark wizard's eyes widen as he realizes his opponent is actually a threat. He vanishes into smoke. Just as the sword makes contact, Malvir reappears several feet behind the farmhand, blood trickling from his cheek.
Nice trick. How many times can you pull that off?
That remains to be seen. How many of my arrows canst thou evade?
Theme music kicks in. Malvir continues the fight by teleporting around the room and conjuring weapons. The farmhand manages to dodge and parry the strikes but can't land a decisive blow before the wizard vanishes again. The battle rages on, and the farmhand grows weary. Instead of running after Malvir, the farmhand stays in one place and studies the wizard's movement pattern. Malvir appears behind the farmhand, thinking he can gain the upper hand, but the farmhand turns and throws a sword, impaling the wizard square in the chest. Malvir falls to his knees, clutching his wound.
This wasn't supposed to happen. What of the prophecy?
The farmhand trots over to the wizard, leaning in to speak.
Who needs a prophecy? You can accomplish anything you have your heart set on.
Did no one tell you? I have no heart.
Do you mean metaphorically or...
Malvir grabs hold of the farmhand and unleashes all of the crackling, magical energy he can muster. As the farmhand collapses, Malvir pulls the sword out of his hollow chest and points it at his defeated foe.
Both. Now dost thou see this to be a fool's errand? There is nothing special about thee. This was the only way thy quest could end.
Oh, you're right. Everyone else can come out now.
All at once, villagers pour in from the hallway, windows, and ceiling to surround Malvir. Ebrius breaks from the crowd, helping up the farmhand.
Doing all right, kid? This is why we didn't want anyone running in alone.
Oh, just a little sore. Think you can take it from here?
What is the meaning of this?
Well, it's just like you said. There's nothing special about me. I taught some friends what I know, and they taught their friends, and pretty soon we had a full rebellion on our hands.
Steady on, comrades. He may not have a heart, but he does have a head. I suggest we start there.
The villagers advance on Malvir. He raises his staff, but Ebrius knocks it away with his quick-draw technique.
This isn't possible. None of ye were chosen. Thou art...
Everything goes dark, and there is the metallic ring of a sword swing. The title UNCHOSEN appears, and credits roll. Exterior, farm, days later. The farmhand and Aurum are tilling the fields together, both still bandaged from their previous fights.
So how does one perform that maneuver where thy sword is thrown?
Well, you just gotta swing it in an arc and let it go at the right time. Takes a lot of practice, though. Think you can handle the rest of this patch while I fetch the seeds?
Don't get the wrong idea, peasant. I'm only helping thee to learn thy secrets.
That's the spirit.
Off in the distance, the roar of a dragon can be heard.
I'll get our weapons from the shed.